Hello and welcome to another video. My name is Haraldus and today I want to talk about GitHub Copilot. So GitHub Copilot is the AI tool that helps you to write code. This is their website and they claim that it's gonna increase your productivity and accelerate the pace of software development and increase your coding speed by 55%. Apparently it's also secure and private. Obviously most of this is marketing stuff, and you can say that 1 in 3 Fortune 500 companies use GitHub Copilot. This is available for business since December 2022. So GitHub Copilot has a few features that are interesting. One is that you can write a comment asking to write some kind of piece of code, and it's gonna write the piece of code for you. Another is the auto completions. So when you write code, it gives you suggestions based on what you're writing, and it helps you to basically code faster. So I've been using it for about a month now. For some use cases it's really great. For other use cases it's just more of a gimmick. I tried debugging code using GitHub Copilot. That didn't really work for me. It can't spot any proper logical mistakes. It can only see like syntax errors and stuff like that. So it's not great for debugging. However, GitHub Copilot is great at providing code suggestions. These are similar to autocomplete, where it suggests a piece of code and you can accept it by pressing tab. This saves some time as you don't need to type anything. Copilot is also great for writing boilerplate code, where you can ask it for some basic piece of code and it can write it for you. For example, let's say I need a new React component called special post in my app, and I can ask GitHub Copilot to write it, and it's gonna write the boilerplate code for you. So I just press Command and I, and it opens this window where you can ask Copilot to write any piece of code that you want. Obviously it's not gonna write all of the code for you, and you still have to understand what's going on. However, it's really good for writing boilerplate code. Similar to ChatGPT, GitHub Copilot is based on LLMs, so the prompt that you give to Copilot for generating code is very important. The better the prompt that you provide, given more detail, the better the code it's going to generate for you. For example, if I ask for a React component, giving it a name and 3 properties, I will get a boilerplate code for that component. In the real world, I tend not to use the code generation feature as much, because it takes time to think of a correct prompt. Then you have to wait for GitHub Copilot to write the code, and it's not always 100% correct. So for boilerplate code, it makes much more sense to use something like React snippets. In my opinion, the best feature of GitHub Copilot is the code suggestions it provides when writing code. That really speeds up my workflow when writing code. I tend to only accept suggestions that are from 1 to 3 lines long, as then most of the time you can just straight away see if what it's suggesting is correct. Accepting longer suggestions from GitHub Copilot a lot of times leads to mistakes, as it usually suggests something that does not make sense. Then I have to go back and rewrite all of the code, so that ends up being slower than if I just typed it myself in the first place. Overall, I've been using GitHub Copilot for about a month now, and I don't see myself going back to the old way of coding anytime soon, as the code suggestions definitely speed up my workflow, and for $10 a month, it is definitely worth it. Obviously, that depends on how much time you're spending coding. For example, if you're still learning how to code, or just don't have a lot of spare money, then it probably doesn't make sense to use it, as it is something that is not an essential, just a nice to have. So this video was just my honest opinion of GitHub Copilot. I'm not sponsored by anyone, and let me know what you think in the comments below. Thanks for watching.